Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Big Four podcast. No Alex today. Another shocking development here.
No Heath.
No Heath. Heath is not with us today. He was great.
We could have him. We can invite him.
That's a good point. He was great last time on the podcast. All right. Honestly,
love to see him try to do basketball.
Yeah. Not a ton to get to today, but of course we have to talk some hoops, and we'll start with Michigan's win over the weekend.
Who they beat?
Over Penn State, 62-58. A little bit of a defensive struggle. Both teams struggled to shoot the ball, that's for sure. What do you guys have to say about this game?
Well, I just remember you saying that Michigan had a team of shooters, but apparently none of them can shoot. Every game you guys struggle to shoot the ball.
We're not peaking.
Okay. Well, Penn State just sucks, so they're the one team in the Big Ten that I think is just absolutely awful. Everyone else in the Big Ten is actually kind of decent, except for Penn State.
Yeah, well, Penn State just beat the number 15 team in the country by 20 points, so.
Yeah, I don't care. They suck.
Okay. Mike?
It's an okay win for Michigan. They peaked in the first half. They just couldn't miss. But in the second half, you can clearly see they're on the downtrend. They reached the climax around the whatever the hell you call that, the downside of the mountain, and it's only going to go down from here.
Yeah.
Listen, Livers didn't play well. He's got to play better. Listen, Dickinson, he's just a 7-footer. I mean, he's all right. He's decent. He's there. But I want to see how he plays against real big men.
Like Kithier?
Penn State doesn't have any real big men.
You mean like Thomas Kithier?
Thomas Kithier will play the first 2 minutes, and then they'll put Marble on him, then they'll put Bingham on him. They'll put maybe Sissoko on him. But, I mean, Penn State's not bad. That's an okay win.
Penn State's bad.
You got to be able to shoot the ball. Michigan can't shoot. It's really as simple as that. They have to be able to shoot. They can't shoot right now, and it's going to bite them later on. They're going to start conference play 8-0. Looking at their
all right, Mike.
Easily.
So we can't shoot, and it's a bad thing. We can't shoot, and it's a bad thing. We start last year shooting the ball well, and it's a bad thing. We just can't catch a break with you. We can't catch a break.
No, you did shoot the ball well in the first half. I forgot to say that because you peaked in the first half.
Oh, yes, of course, yes.
Second half you struggled, and that's not a good sign because you already peaked. That's not a good sign at all.
Listen, yeah, interesting game here. I think Penn State is a solid NIT team. Nothing special. It's a team Michigan should beat, and they did. Horrible offensive performance. Livers just not good enough. He made the free throws at the end, which are needed. But,
yeah, I'm starting to think he's just not good.
Well, this is his first bad game. He's played well in every other game.
Chris, explain this to me. How on earth did Penn State have 20
Luke, he's
more
averaging
shots
15 points a game. What?
That's
Mike?
not good enough.
What, Mike?
How did Michigan have more rebounds and Penn State shot 20 more shots than Michigan? That's not good.
Well, listen, I don't think we're a very good rebounding team, and that's the biggest thing I took out of this because
you out-rebounded them.
Penn State had. Well, look at the offensive glass, Mike. Penn State had 13 offensive rebounds, and that's unacceptable. Michigan turned the ball over 16 times. This is not and that is something that we are always good with. We never, in recent years.
Well, Penn State's the number one team.
I understand that, but we've never been bad turnover-wise. It's been a little sloppy to start the year in some non-conference games as well.
So what happens when you have just a total rock as your head coach? He just doesn't make any adjustments. He just goes out there and does nothing.
Okay. Defensively, I was very impressed. Actually, no, let me go back to the offense for a second. Livers needs to be better. 1 for 7 is not good enough. He also needs to get more shots. Wagner sucks. I'm done with Franz Wagner. He sucks and blows. 5 shots. He's been horrible through the entire non-conference. As far as I'm concerned, he's horrible.
Reminds me of Rocket Watts last year, start of the year. Struggled, but he'll get it going.
Depth-wise, I'm a little concerned right now. The loss of Austin Davis is going to be, I think, a little bit of a problem because right now we're playing...
It'd be nice if you had a guy like Colin Castleton.
Because right now we're playing 7 guys without Austin Davis. We brought in Williams at the end of the game to play some defense, but he doesn't do anything except play defense. So that's a problem.
Can you just say you brought him in to play defense? And
then he came in and missed. Then he came in and missed 2 free throws because he got fouled. Key free throws. because he can't shoot from the free throw line. So, and Johns sucks. I don't understand what's taking Brandon Johns so long. He has flashes. He's an insane athlete, but the guy is he's just so spotty. And I'll say it again.
Are you
Eli,
kidding me? Cassius Winston's an insane athlete. If you're comparing him to Brandon Johns.
no, Brandon Johns is a very good athlete. They say it all the time.
Give me a break.
They say it all the time. He can never get it together, but he's a great athlete. I'll say it again.
You know he sucks when he's from East Lansing and he's a Michigan State fan, and we didn't want him.
I'll say it again. Eli Brooks is the most important player on this team. He played well on offense.
Well, you suck then.
Mike, he was 67% from three. He said he couldn't shoot. That's what he shot in this game.
He can't shoot.
He was 2 for 3 from three. 3 for 7 from the field.
He was 0 for 10 the last 3 games.
He's a very good passer, and I'll tell you one thing: Eli Brooks should be the Defensive Player of the Year in the Big Ten. The play he made at the end of the game on Sessoms, one of the best defensive plays I've ever seen. One-on-one, total textbook. And getting to that, defensively, we're very good in this game. Penn State did not get good shots. They made some miracle shots to start the second half. They did not get good shots at all. They didn't shoot the ball well. And we're a little bit better defensively than I thought. We'll see what happens when we play the better teams. But they're better defensively than I thought.
I just think it's more Penn State struggles to score against everybody.
Well, they weren't getting good shots. They weren't getting open looks.
Okay.
And the play at the end of the game by Brooks, I mean, I know Brooks is our best defender, so you can't use him for the rest of the team, but that was just an insane play. The guy's a great player. Okay. Ohio State had an embarrassing performance yesterday against Purdue, losing 67-60. They'll probably fall out of the rankings after this. What do you guys think about this game from both sides? Luke?
I just think we're not a good, Purdue's just a bad matchup for us. We don't have a ton of height, and that's, all Purdue has. They have, that Williams kid and what's the big kid's name? Edie's his name or whatever?
Yeah, we'll see how that works against Hunter Dickinson. How's that going to work against Hunter Dickinson?
Yeah, well, you're not counting in the fact that Michigan calls us daddy. So we could put out 5 preschoolers in Ohio State uniforms, and Michigan would somehow choke against
Hunter
them.
Dickinson will dominate you. He dominates small. Yeah. He dominates 6'8" big guys.
Yeah, well, he doesn't. Not when they're in Ohio State uniform.
Right. He's played no good big man all year.
Well, he played that Hara guy from Penn State.
John Hara is what is he, 6'2"?
Yeah, well, was he wearing an Ohio State
He's their center.
uniform?
He's 6'7".
Right.
He's good.
All right. Well, we just didn't have. They just didn't match up great, and then we could never get anything going. Purdue played really good defense, and near the end of the game, we were just sloppy with the ball. Not necessarily. We were turning it over, but it wasn't like we were throwing it away. We just couldn't dribble.
What was that? Weirdest thing I've ever seen. What was that weird starting lineup from Chris Holtman?
Yeah, I don't know. Holtman said to not read anything into it. He was just trying to mess around with some things, trying to spark at the beginning. I think he kind of went too far with it. I could understand. I could understand just put it in Musa Gallo, but he took out Kyle Young and he took out CJ Walker.
Yeah, Jimmy Sotos.
I didn't understand
Jimmy Sotos is a great player.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I would understand if he put Musa Jallow in, went with 3 guards, but I didn't really. Oh shit! I didn't really understand the Jimmy Sotos thing.
Okay. Mike?
The Buckeyes are in trouble as of now. I've been saying it for a couple weeks.
They just gotta get healthy. They just gotta get
Give
healthy.
me a break. Once we get set,
they gotta get healthy. They gotta get healthy.
And
well, that's my point.
You're
just not gonna let me make my point? You're just gonna yell at me?
Yes.
Okay. Listen, Ohio State, as they're constructed right now, they struggle to score the ball. They don't have that go-to guy. You could say E.J. Liddell's that go-to guy, but he just didn't show up yesterday, literally, because he didn't play.
Yeah, he has mono.
Yeah, listen, that's on him.
He's a dog.
He's a dog.
Yeah.
Only dogs get mono.
I mean, what is with Ohio State big men? I mean, one of them was found in the Ohio.
All right.
River.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So
one of them's got mono.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, Ohio State, they got to figure this big man stuff out.
Yeah.
Like Luke said, they don't match up well against Purdue. I thought Purdue played well anyway. I don't know what to think about Purdue. I think they're an okay team. I think they're a tournament team if everything goes right. Ohio State, they need to get healthy. They need to get Seth Towns back. In the short term,
he's never been there, so I don't know how we can get him back.
Well, they got to get him on the floor.
There you go.
And
how long is he out for?
Interesting game. UCLA.
He's like day to day, week to week. They don't know.
Okay.
Maybe if he stops crashing his car every time. Healthy.
Okay.
Yeah, that would help. Ohio State, gotta get healthy, and we'll see how they play this weekend. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think Purdue is they're a very good NIT team. I don't really think much of Purdue.
You think every Big Ten team is making the NIT?
I think Purdue and Penn State are making the NIT. Maybe Maryland.
No, you got to look at KenPom.
No, Maryland's a top 3 team.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, how could I forget that? Yeah, I mean, on a day when Stefanovic doesn't even shoot the ball very well, and
Stefanovic, he was hitting everything.
He was 2 for 7.
Yeah, he was hitting everything.
Okay.
Literally everything. He airballed a couple. He was hitting the people in the stands, the backboard. Probably hit the shot clock. He was hitting everything.
I don't really take much of this for Ohio State. They just got to get healthy, and I think they're a good top 25 team. So I mean, I guess whatever.
We're the best team in the Big Ten.
All right. You lose at Mackey, it happens.
Yeah, tough place to play.
Yeah.
Even with no fans.
But as for Purdue, I don't know why. I know Mike was just like pants off about Zach Edey last night. The guy sucks. He's awful. He is so bad at the game of basketball.
Travion Williams had a good game.
Yeah, Travion Williams is their best player, and he doesn't even start.
When you have 2 good big men like they do, you could just go with the hot hand.
Why does Travion Williams not start? He's their best player.
It was a matchup thing.
Yeah, well, Edey sucks.
He gives him a spark off the bench.
Edey is bad at basketball. This guy is bad at basketball. You shouldn't be playing.
He had like 4 blocks yesterday.
He's a worse version of Taco Fall.
All right, he's a way more athletic version of Taco Fall.
He is awful.
Athletic.
I've never seen a guy with less touch around the rim than this guy.
Chris, he's more athletic than Hunter Dickinson.
Did you watch? At least Hunter Dickinson had some touch around the rim. Did you watch this guy try and lay the ball in?
What do you mean he has no touch around the rim?
He just throws it up the backboard.
Right
he just throws it up.
Try to do it.
What?
Get a mini hoop, stand next to it, and try to lay the ball in. It's not as easy as you think it is.
I can at least hit the rim.
Ball.
I can at least hit the rim. I don't just chuck it off the backboard.
Well, he had a bad game.
Yeah, he sucks. He's bad at basketball. Right, he's very bad at basketball.
The death lineup is him and Travion Williams playing at the same time. The best spacing you can have in basketball.
Bad at basketball.
Just like you?
Yes. All right, let's get to some other Big Ten scores. One game I definitely want to make sure we talk about is the Illinois-Missouri game. Illinois obviously falling there.
Michigan State, Oakland.
Well, hold on, let me get to that. So make sure you talk about Illinois-Missouri, because that's a big one. We got Nebraska losing to Creighton, Iowa all over Iowa State. Michigan State barely beats Oakland, embarrassing win. Ohio State beat the Cavaliers earlier in the week.
That's right.
Rutgers over Maryland. And, Illinois over Minnesota. And then you had Northwestern over Quincy, Division II Quincy. So that was a good win. What do you guys have to say about any of these games?
Disappointing week for Nebraska, obviously. I mean, I don't think anybody's really expecting it to be good, but I'd hope to see some growth under
well, they're playing a good Doan team right now.
Hoiberg. But the Illinois-Missouri game was interesting. Missouri is a decent team. Very good team this year.
Very good team.
But that's a team that Illinois should beat. And the way they've been playing really well to start the year, I don't take much out of it. I think it's still early in the year. It's kind of a thing where they just lost. I mean, I don't know. There's not much more to say. It's just you lose basketball games. I mean, it's not like college football where you should win every game you're expected to win. There's more variables to college basketball. The talent's spread out more. One player has a bad game and you're done, or one player has a really good game and you're done. But a little concerning. Hopefully Illinois can figure out what went wrong, because the last thing you want is some teams getting a playbook on you here and figure out your weaknesses and start to struggle for the rest of the year. But I think what's his face is too good of a coach for that, and I think Illinois will be fine.
Iowa beating Iowa State, no shocker there. Listen, this Missouri game, I don't take much out of it. Illinois lost to Missouri last year. Missouri's okay, not a great team, probably not a tournament
and it's a rivalry
in the SEC. It's a pseudo rivalry game. I don't think Illinois really took the game seriously. They probably thought Missouri was gonna knock them out and play. But they're a decent team. They played well. But I'm not too worried about this loss. I think Illinois will be fine in the long run. But man, whenever you beat a rival, it's a great thing. It's a beautiful thing. And the celebration in East Lansing continues right now for that big win over Oakland. It's still Oakland with a 0 because they still have yet to beat us in their history. We played well, in the latter parts of the game. Didn't play great early. Oakland, this Raekwon Williams kid, my goodness. I mean, he just didn't miss. Did not miss. What did he have? He had 8 threes, and he was making them from the logo. He's the greatest player I've ever seen in the history of basketball. It's really simple as that. Rashad Williams, not Raekwon Williams. He's a great player. And then once we triple teamed him, Jalen Moore showed up in the second half. He had 26 points. So what is that? 62 out of Oakland's 91 points came from 2 players, Jalen Moore and Rashad Williams. But once we put Henry on Williams, he kind of shut him down. Henry
shut it down.
That's right. Henry had a good game offensively, 15 points. He played well. Langford played very well. He looks to be close to back to 100%. He's not the player he was a couple years ago in terms of we needing him to score and make plays. He's more of a role player now, but that's what we need from him. Rocket didn't have the greatest game in the world. But Joey Hauser, the most consistent player in the Big Ten, he averages a double-double. 10 points, 10 rebounds, exactly on the number. 2 for 3 from 3. He's the best shooter in the Big Ten. How about my guy, Gabe Brown? 20 points, 7 for 9 from the field, 4 for 6 from 3.
Justin
man of the year in the Big Ten.
Owens is shooting 75% from 3. Hasn't taken a 2 all year.
Gabe Brown's leading candidate for 6th man of the year, for sure. I mean, we got a couple candidates. Malik Hall, 10.6 rebounds. He could be Big Ten man of the year if he comes on strong. Steven Izzo, 0 points. He got a shot up, though.
Okay, so I'm going to go now. Nebraska, no shame in losing to Creighton. Creighton's a great team. Great loss for Nebraska. They hung in the first half, so that's a win.
No, it's not.
In terms of Iowa, just the drumming of Iowa State. No shocker.
Iowa State sucks.
Yeah, that's late news. Missouri, the only thing, I'm not surprised at the way Illinois played, but I was pleasantly surprised to see Missouri back they're a very good team. I think they're a top 15 team, so I don't know if there's too much shame losing to Missouri. They got a lot of experience. They got a lot of guys who can score the ball. Xavier Pinson, Drew Smith, Mark Smith, who only had 5 points in this game, but he's their leading scorer. So they got a lot of good players. And, Ed Sumu had a great game, but it's just not enough. This is why I had Illinois as my 3rd best team in the Big Ten coming in. They're now my 4th best team. I just don't – I know Mike thought they were like the greatest team of all time.
This is what happens when you play a real schedule and not just a bunch of nobodies.
Well, Iowa played North Carolina and beat them, so.
Yeah, North Carolina sucks.
Who was Michigan State played? Notre Dame?
Listen, it's not our fault that our schedule's been disrupted. Michigan just had nobody.
We played 3 teams. We played all 3 teams that were going to win the MAC this year.
Okay.
Yeah, Michigan State, I've been hearing about what a great defensive team Michigan State is, and they give 91 points to Oakland, so that's good.
Are we going to lock down Oakland when they're shooting 100%?
Good win for the
2 kids I've never heard of.
Good win for Ohio State over the Cavaliers. That's a great win. And Rutgers. Rutgers is just a really solid team. They need more attention on the national level. That's a good win over Maryland. Ron Harper is one of the best players in the conference. So good for them.
We're doing it without Geo Baker. When is he going to be back? Who the hell knows?
Well, he played in that game, so he played a lot of minutes in that game. Yeah.
15 minutes. Or no,
he played 28
points.
minutes.
Not good enough.
Yeah, okay.
He needs to play more. He needs to start.
Yeah, well, he probably will be now. All right.
We need to get Mulcahy out of the starting lineup. It's ridiculous.
Okay, before we move to some non-conference news, I feel like we should touch on Keontae Johnson. Some news today, I just heard on ESPN, is that he is able to talk to some teammates and such now. Florida has canceled their next 3 non-conference games. Anything you guys have to say about this?
Well, obviously, we hope he's okay. Obviously, it's a scary situation. Don't want it to happen to anybody. But why did they cancel their 3 games?
I don't know, but they did.
Well, they just pulled out what, a Duke?
There's probably a lot going on down there. I mean, kid was in a coma, collapsed on the floor. So.
Yeah, well, listen, it happened to our high school team my junior year. It's nothing you want to see happen. Keontae Johnson, he'll be fine.
Oh my God.
He's a tough kid. He'll get through it, but Florida still sucks. So maybe this will give them the reason to win. They finally have their
all right, Mike,
their guy.
Well, I hate to throw out conspiracy theories, but what was Leonard Hamilton putting in the water for the game? Finding ways to win. No, but in all seriousness, I mean, it's a scary situation. We wish him well, and it's not only that. I mean, he's their best player. He's been playing well early in the year. That was a game they were winning by 9 points before he collapsed, and you have to wonder about what caused this, because if it's some tragic condition, heart condition, and he can't play, what does that do for Florida? What does it do for him as a person? I don't know. I mean, people just don't collapse. It just doesn't happen. There's got to be more to this. I doubt he'll play again this year, and that's going to hurt Florida's chances of really even making the tournament now. They're going to have some players step up, but mentally, I don't even know how they come back. Maybe they bring him back on the sidelines as kind of a cheerleader. But Mike White, this might be the nail in the coffin for him. I mean, no excuses. You got to make the tournament at the University of Florida. Doesn't matter what the circumstances are.
I agree about the underlying condition thing. There's got to be something there. The video is just awful. I don't know if you guys saw the video, but of him just falling down on the court. I've never seen anything like that. So we wish him well. We'll see what happens moving forward for Florida and for him. But yeah, I feel like we need to touch on that before we get to non-conference. The only game I have on here to touch on is Creighton going down because they're a top 10 team, falling, and they lost to Marquette. What do we have to say about this game?
Yeah, just the Big East is overrated. I know it's one Big East team beating another, but Marquette, they're not that great, and Creighton's not that good. The only reason they're a top 10 team is because everyone thinks the Big East is so good, but Creighton overrated.
Yeah, I mean, Creighton, I don't even know what to think about them. They're a decent team. They're a tournament team, 7-8 seed is where I'd put them right now. Around the 30th best team in the country. But my goodness, I mean, they choked against Kansas. They couldn't make a free throw, and they couldn't make a free throw in this game. They had a big lead. They blew it, and then Marquette tried to blow the lead. I don't think Marquette's horrible, but they're not a good team. That's a really bad loss at home. I know home court doesn't mean as much, but they couldn't make their free throws. Zagorowski didn't play well enough. Mitchell Ballack didn't play well enough. That Mahoney kid's overrated. The Big East is like Creighton. They're very similar. The conference is similar to the team. They're both overrated, and they're both all flash and no substance.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I was going to use this. I mean, tough loss for Creighton, not a great loss for Creighton. But, they're just trying to help out the Big East, trying to get Marquette a big win and boost their resume. So, good for them. Yeah, I mean, I was going to use this opportunity to talk about how the Big East is the only conference that has all of their teams ranked in the top 100 in Ken Palm. So that's good. The Big East is a great conference.
DePaul, who hasn't played a game yet?
Yeah. it's it's probably third to the Big Ten and the Big 12. But tough loss for Creighton. They'll drop into the teens this week.
I'm surprised you didn't use it as an opportunity to say what a great team Marquette is.
Well, I think Marquette's okay. They're a tournament team. Creighton.
Well, yeah, Big East tournament team.
Creighton's bouncing back right now. They're playing well against St. John's. So.
Yeah, well, St. John's sucks.
Well, St. John's is a solid team. We'll see.
Are they a solid Big East tournament team?
They are a solid Big East tournament team. They're probably not an NCAA tournament team.
Oh God.
So yeah. All right. Pick a game from this week that we have not discussed and say something about it.
Why?
Okay, Mike?
Well, I guess I might be stealing Luke's game, but West Virginia, big win over Richmond. This was a classic example of a talented team. Both teams are good, but West Virginia is more talented. Both are very similar in terms of experience. Bobby Huggins this is probably the best team he's had since the 2010 Final Four team. Very solid West Virginia basketball team. I could probably make a case for them being the best team in the Big 12. It's them, Baylor, Kansas.
All right, you just can't make a case
Tech.
for anybody being better than Baylor. According to you, everybody in the Big 12 has a case for best team in the Big 12, and then you just forget about Baylor.
How am I forgetting about Baylor? They lost, what's his name?
They are so clearly the best team. It's not even remotely close.
Listen, I don't think it's – I think you're wrong. I think it's close. I think, Baylor lost, what's his name? Forgot the kid from last year. What's his name? The big kid.
Freddie Gillespie?
Gillespie. They lost Gillespie. That's a big loss. I still think they're probably the best team. I think Texas has an argument. I think Texas Tech, Kansas has an argument. I mean, they're playing right now. That's a close game.
Yeah.
But West Virginia is a very good basketball team. They're a top 10 team. That's a good win. Richmond comes out. They beat a subpar Vanderbilt team, but it's still a power victory for them. So gotta give credit to West Virginia. Solid win.
Listen, from now on, I'm going to use this segment to give an update on my teams. Indiana obviously hasn't played. Well, they killed North Alabama, but they haven't played since. They got a big game coming up against Butler. That's part of that Indiana thing they do. Crossroads Classic. I think that's going to give us a good gauge at where they're at right now. I think they'll win that game. Richmond obviously went down to West Virginia, but I was surprised at how well they fought back in the second half. When I turned the game on at first, they were down by 25 to 30 points, and they ended up fighting back. Only lost by 15, obviously. That's a lot, but I was just surprised that they fought back. They won the second half. They were down by 22 at halftime. They won the second half. So that was a I liked how Richmond did that. The way they could have easily just rolled over and died, but they fought back, scored 41 points in the second half. And then West Virginia beat Richmond. They haven't really played anybody else. They beat Georgetown in the Big East, Big 12 battle. But they have a tough couple weeks coming up. They have Kansas. And then they have a Buffalo team, which is projected to win the MAC. So
every team's projected to win the MAC.
So everybody was throwing a party after Clemson beat Maryland. Like they were some great team. I know Mike was all over them. He thinks they're world beaters, Clemson. But the bottom line is...
So they could possibly be the Baylor of this year.
No, yeah. Yeah. Brad Brownell is a horrible basketball coach. Everybody knows this. They get...
Well, that's what you said about Scott Drew 2 years ago, and now he's got the best team in college.
Yeah, that's true.
Really, just a wire-to-wire
That's true.
win.
You were ragging on Scott Drew.
Well, he sucks. He hasn't won anything.
Saying how they always choke.
They had to do. Do they not? Do they not?
Great they are, they always choke.
Do they not? Do they not?
So, according to Chris, college basketball is all about the coaches. Everything that matters is the coaches, except for Baylor. The coach doesn't matter with Baylor.
Exactly.
They're just good because of the players.
Exactly.
It has nothing to do with the coach.
Exactly. Well, no,
Give me a break.
he's a good regular season coach. We'll see what happens when they get in the tournament.
He has 2 Elite Eights.
Well, he hasn't gotten to the Final
about?
Four. I only count if you get to the Final Four. Yeah, I mean, Virginia Tech.
That's why every Big East coach is so great, because none of them got to the Final Four
Virginia
You're
Tech is
right.
it? Well, that's different because they're working with less money and less resources.
Less money and resources than Baylor.
Yeah, Villanova that has a lot less money than Baylor. Okay. Uh,
Okay.
so Virginia Tech is. I'm not saying they're any good because they got destroyed by Penn State. They had a fluke win against Villanova. That'll help their resume. But I mean, this is a. They really was a wire to wire win. Clemson sucks. Don't buy into Clemson. All right.
Well, I don't think I should ever listen to you based on your takes in the football season.
All right. Well, before we've only had a couple conference games here. Just quickly, you don't need to explain it. Who will win the Big Ten regular season championship?
Chris, you muted me. What the hell?
I did not mute you. Who will
Well,
win?
why was I muted?
You muted yourself.
I did not mute myself. You muted me.
No, I didn't.
I muted him.
You just don't want to hear my prediction because you know I'm always right.
Who's
going
gonna
to
do it?
Wrong prediction in 20 years.
Who's going to win it? Maryland?
Nope. My prediction: the Big Ten regular season champion is going to be not Iowa. They suck. Illinois is too inconsistent. I don't think Indiana will get it done. I think they're a year short.
You gonna say the team that's
Ohio
going to do
State.
it, or are you just going to keep saying teams that aren't going to do it?
Ohio State has some weaknesses that can be exploited. Michigan's is not good. Rutgers has a shot. I think Rutgers is the underrated team of the year. Obviously, the RAC isn't as good as it is just because of not as many people. I'm gonna go with Wisconsin.
Mike?
You can't go wrong with that pick. Wisconsin's a solid program, solid team, solidly coached. I just go by the law of averages with them. I don't think they're going to win because of the law of averages. Obviously, my top four hasn't changed. It's still number one, Michigan State. I think they're going to win the league. Number two, Illinois. Number three, Wisconsin. And number four, Iowa. I don't care if Iowa beats Gonzaga by 35. They got to show something in Big Ten play different than they have in the past 5 years, because Iowa just does the same thing. They're always impressive in the non-conference season. Every year. I remember a couple of years ago, they beat Oregon down in New York. They were impressive, and then once it came to conference season, they kind of fell apart. Towards the end, same thing last year. They fell apart towards the end. I'm expecting the same thing this year. Michigan State, proven. They've done it the past 3 years. Now I think it might be shared with Illinois. I think Illinois is pretty close, and Wisconsin. But I think it's those four, and I think Michigan State right now, they aren't playing their best basketball, but that's a good thing because you don't want to peak too early. So I'll take Michigan State.
Yeah, I like Wisconsin. I like their schedule. It's not as hard as Iowa's or Michigan State's or even Illinois'. I still think Iowa's the best team. Overall, they might even have a higher tournament seed than Wisconsin by the end of it, even if they don't win the regular season championship. But I think Wisconsin is going to win this regular season. They're going to grind it out like they always do and just find a way. All right, let's get to the picks. Mike and I are now tied for first place. A very impressive week for Mike, 16-2 last week. One of the most impressive weeks we've seen here at the Big Four podcast in our long history.
How did I do?
Luke was 9-9.
Tough week. We're looking to build on it this week.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, tough week for Luke. All right, BYU at number 18, San Diego State.
San Diego State.
Yeah, I like San Diego State also.
I'll also take San Diego State. Number 3, Iowa, and number 1, Gonzaga.
What's the game? I'm taking Gonzaga.
I mean, it's early. It's conference season. You expect Iowa to play well. I just don't think they have enough defense. I'll take Gonzaga.
This game might be the most entertaining game of the year. I don't know. This is a tough one. I think I'm going to take Gonzaga. I think they're more motivated to win this type of game because Iowa has so many opportunities in conference season to win big games, and Gonzaga does not. So I guess I'll take Gonzaga.
Who are they playing?
Iowa.
Oh, Iowa sucks. I'll take Gonzaga by 40.
You already picked Gonzaga. That's late news.
I'm taking it by 40 for an extra point.
Number 23, Louisville. Number 12, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. I don't think Louisville's that good.
We haven't really seen a lot of Louisville this year. We don't really know much about them. They got some young players. They got some guys returning from last year, but they didn't return most of their guys. I like Wisconsin also. I think this is Wisconsin. Usually they start non-conference season out a little shaky, and then by the end of it, they're always ready to go for conference season. I'll take Wisconsin.
Yeah, I'll take Wisconsin. I think it'll be close. Louisville's a pretty good team, but I'll take Wisconsin. All right, a couple of games in the Crossroads Classic. Purdue and Notre Dame.
What the heck, Chris?
What?
We didn't pick the Richmond Loyola Maryland game.
Okay, is that a Purdue or Notre Dame pick?
That's the best game of the week.
All right,
I'll
put you down for Notre Dame. Okay,
I'll
Purdue.
take Purdue. That's the best. I'm putting that extra in here. The best game of the week is going to be Richmond versus Loyola Chicago. It's on ESPN Plus. I don't know if any of our listeners have ESPN Plus, but if you do,
yeah, all of our zero listeners. I wonder if you have ESPN Plus.
Well, I have it.
Okay.
That's a very interesting game we're doing at Notre Dame. Contrasting styles of teams. I'm gonna.
Where's the game being played?
I don't know. Where do they usually play?
Probably
Bankers Life.
Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Where it always is.
Who are you taking, Mike?
Well, I don't know how they do it. Is it
Purdue?
Okay. I'm going to take Notre Dame. All right. The other game is Indiana.
It's at Mackey. Oh, wait, no. It's in Indianapolis. Bankers Life Fieldhouse.
Yeah, that's late news. Indiana and Butler.
Indiana.
All right. Mike?
I'm going to take Indiana.
I like Butler here. I think they're the better team.
You're an idiot.
Number 20, Ohio State and UCLA. Go ahead.
All right. I'm not even going to try to convince you because that's probably the dumbest take I've ever heard.
Number 20, Ohio State and UCLA.
They flipped these games because of conference COVID testing stuff. We were supposed to play North Carolina. We played them last year. I'm glad we're playing UCLA. We haven't played them in a couple of years. Both 5-1. Chris Mack, one of the best coaches in the country. I'm going to take.
Excuse me?
Chris Mack.
Oh no, what's his name? Chris Mack's at Louisville.
Mick Cronin.
Mick Cronin. I'm going to take. I'm going to take UCLA. I think Jamie Jaquez Jr. is one of the best players in the country.
You're taking UCLA.
I'm taking UCLA.
This is a very close game. Also, I'm going to take the Bruins. Also.
Wow. I'm going with Ohio State. I don't think UCLA is very good.
No, they have Mick Cronin. He's going to win the Pac-12. Remember when I talked that into existence last year?
Okay. Number 22, North Carolina and Kentucky.
I'm going to take. This is a tough game. Kentucky's obviously struggling this year. It's been well documented. And North Carolina hasn't been great. I mean, they've been better than last year, which is, I'd hope so, because they sucked last year. But I'm going to take UNC.
I like Kentucky. I think Cal's going to get his team ready. Yeah, I think North Carolina's a better team. But if Kentucky's going to show a pulse and make the tournament, they got to win this game.
Well, they've lost 4 straight.
They could probably win. They could probably lose it and still make the tournament. But they got to. If there's one game where you're going to be motivated to play, it's North Carolina, and they got the talent. They got more talent than North Carolina. I'll take.
Did you hear the story? Did you see what happened with Cat? They asked him if he wanted to take a bus to Atlanta, and he thought it was only 4 hours, and it's really 6. And then he got pissed, so now they're flying to Ohio to Cleveland. But Cleveland's only like 3 hours from Kentucky.
So why?
Did you hear that?
Just stupid.
I think so. I don't know.
So at the 4 hour mark, he's like, "Where's Atlanta?" Like, oh, we still got 2 hours to go. Like, dang it, you little.
I don't know what happened, but I asked him, like, you want to take a bus or do you want to fly? And he was like, oh, we'll just take a bus to Atlanta because he thought it was 4 hours, but it's 6 hours. Cleveland is, it's like 5 hours. So, but they're flying apparently now.
Okay.
Well, I think Cal's job security should be on the line if he thinks Atlanta, if he doesn't know where Atlanta is.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm taking North Carolina.
Well, he's never been to there because he's never been to the Final Four.
Yeah. I'm taking North Carolina because they're much better. Okay, Arizona at Stanford.
How has Stanford been this year?
Okay.
Sucky.
They're very packed. They're very Pac-12.
I'll take Arizona.
No idea what to think about Arizona.
Has Arizona played a game? Have they played a game?
I have no idea.
No way.
Yeah.
Arizona? Who they played?
Yeah. They played UTEP, Cal State, Bakersfield, Northern Arizona, Eastern Washington, and Grambling.
Yeah, I'll take Stanford then.
I will also take Stanford because I said they're going to win the Pac-12. All right. Number 9, Creighton at UConn.
Oh, my
I'll take UConn.
God.
UConn's the best team in the Big East.
Okay.
Coach McBuckets, if you're watching this, if you lose this damn game, you suck as a coach. I mean, you already do suck as a coach, but you suck more. I'm taking Creighton, and you better not lose this game.
Tough game here. I think Connecticut's a top 25 team. But I will take Creighton close.
Yeah, every Big East team's a top 25 team.
No, well, they are. They've received some votes in the top 25. I think Creighton wins close, very close.
Well, they finished 9th in the American, so
that's because they lost every game by 1 point. Okay, number 13 Illinois at number 19 Rutgers.
Is Geo Baker playing?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take Rutgers.
Well, the rack's not the same without all the fans. This is at the rack, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Illinois. Illinois is a good team. I think they'll bounce back. I'll take Illinois.
I'm taking Rutgers because it's still the rack. It's still a tough place to play, and they're playing well. Oklahoma State at number 11, Texas.
I'll take Texas. Even though I think they're overrated.
Hook 'em. Give me the Longhorns.
I'll also say hook 'em. I think it's going to be very close, though. Oklahoma State's decent. Marquette at Xavier.
Oh, God. Xavier. I'll take Xavier.
This is what I don't know. I don't even know what you're thinking with this game.
What's wrong with this game? We pick games between tournament teams, Mike.
Two unranked teams going at it.
We picked Arizona and Stanford. We picked games between tournament teams.
Tournament teams.
Yes.
What, Big East? What, conference tournament teams?
You just gonna say that every time I say tournament team?
Well, I mean, you think Marquette's a tournament team? No,
yes.
That's right. They aren't.
They absolutely are a tournament team.
No, they're not. I'm taking Xavier. They're the better team.
All right. Let's see here. This is a very interesting game. Two great coaches.
Please don't say Georgetown versus St. John's.
I will. Well, I haven't picked this game yet.
Or
man.
Providence Seton Hall.
This is a very, very tough pick.
Don't say Providence Seton Hall.
I'm trying to make a pick in this game.
Okay.
I guess I'll go with Xavier. They're very hot right now. All right. Number 4, Michigan State at Northwestern.
Georgetown, St. John's. Okay, thank God. I'll take Michigan State.
We always seem to start the conference playoff with a game against Northwestern on the road. That's not the Welsh Ryan Center. Great atmosphere. The atmosphere will be better without fans, for sure. Northwestern's an improved team. It's going to be a close game. We're going to be rusty coming into conference season, but I think we'll pull it out. I'll take Michigan State.
Yeah, I'm going to take Michigan State as well. All right, great game here. Providence at Seton Hall.
Okay, I'm not. No.
There it is. There it is.
Luke, you gonna make a pick? All right, that's a no pick. Mike?
That's fine. I'll take a no pick.
All right.
What is it? Providence and St. John's?
Seton Hall. Seton Hall.
Oh, much better.
Well, we pick games to be tournament teams, and this is what we're doing.
Yeah, Mike. The next game's gonna be Georgetown versus St. John's. So.
No, that game was on there last week. I almost put it on there, but I didn't.
Well, let's think about this for a second. Seton Hall went into a good Penn State team. No, they're not good, but they're okay. Beat them. They lost to Oregon. They lost to Louisville. They've lost some tough games. Providence has played absolutely nobody. I think.
Well, that's just
Seton
not true.
Hall's,
They played in the Maui tournament, so.
Yeah, well, who they play in the Maui tournament? Because they lost.
They lost to Indiana. They beat Davidson, and they played Alabama. I don't know if I remember if they won or not. I think they lost.
Oh yeah, of course they did. I'll take Seton Hall. I think they're more prepared for this game early on.
Yeah, I mean, interesting here. I mean, first game of the conference season for Providence, it usually takes till about the fifth or sixth game for them to turn it on and win like 9 games in a row and make the tournament. So I think I'll take Seton Hall here. Luke, you still going with a no pick here?
Yeah, I'm not picking this game.
Okay. St. Louis at Minnesota.
Excuse me?
St. Louis at Minnesota.
What day is this game on?
Yeah, if it was on Saturday, Luke would pick St. Louis, but if it's on a Monday, then he'll pick Minnesota. Really means a lot.
Well, as long as it's on a Sunday, because St. Louis, they don't play on Sunday because they have a Saint in their name. I'll go with Minnesota. I do think St. Louis is a good team, though.
This is a crucial game for Minnesota.
Screw it. I'm going St. Louis, baby. Give me St. Louis. The Billikens.
This is a crucial game for Minnesota coming off that 30-point loss to Illinois to start conference play. It's going to be a close game. I don't have trust in Richard Pitino, and because of that, I'm going to take St. Louis.
I'm going to take St. Louis as well. They're a better team. Colorado versus Grand Canyon.
This is the Far West Classic, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, what a tournament. I don't know anything about Grand Canyon. Supposedly they're a good team. Colorado, I don't think is very good. Who knows? I guess I'll go with Grand Canyon in the upset.
Well, Bryce Drew, the former Vanderbilt coach, is coaching Grand Canyon up. Colorado, they're not as good as they were last year. I think they're still a decent team. I'll take Colorado.
I'll take Colorado as well. Very close here. Grand Canyon almost beat ASU, even though ASU lost to UTEP yesterday. Still,
ASU sucks.
Who'd you pick, Luke?
Grand Canyon.
Okay. Number 14, Texas Tech at Oklahoma.
Texas Tech.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Oklahoma. I'm going to be honest. They've had they started their season late because of COVID. They beat TCU. I'm going to take Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. Purdue at number 3, Iowa.
Iowa, but it's closer than people expect.
Iowa in a blowout. Number 8, West Virginia at number 5, Kansas.
West Virginia.
Well, I mean, Kansas comes into these games doubted, and they just seem to win them all. They're winning this one against Texas Tech right now. I think they're going to win this one. I'll take Kansas.
I'm going to take West Virginia. I think West Virginia is a better version of Texas Tech. And Kansas, in a very close game with Texas Tech right now, I think West Virginia wins that game.
Oh, the old transitive property.
Yeah. The last game, number 22, North Carolina at NC State.
Are you kidding me? This is the last game?
Yes.
We're not going to pick St. Mary's and San Diego State.
No, that's not on the docket.
That's 2 tournament teams. That's a better game than any of the Big East games you've had us pick.
St. Mary's lost to Memphis, so.
Well, Chris, St.
No,
Mary's
they
is
didn't.
the West Coast Conference tournament every year, so you got to take that into account.
If we don't start picking these games and pick less Big East games, I'm going to start boycotting the picks. I'll just be here silent. Maybe go, no, so you guys can't pick. I'll take North Carolina.
Well, I mean, even in down years, North Carolina owns NC State. They beat them twice last year. I'm going to take North Carolina.
Yeah, I'm also taking North Carolina. Not that I think NC State isn't close to UNC. I think NC State's a pretty good team, but UNC just owns the rivalry. All right. Anything else to say?
Michigan sucks.
Just like to say, you see that? That's a 0. That's how many times Oakland's beaten Michigan State. That's right. It's an O.
See that? That's a 1. That's how many times Oakland's beat Michigan.
That's right. We own Oakland, and by transitive property, we own Michigan.
Okay. That's going to do it.
I think you own Michigan without the transitive
property.
No,
we beat them our last game. We're 1-0 in our last one.
No, you can't. No.
Got to apply correctly, Chris.
You can't count games in February. You can only count them in when did we play them the first time? December?
Yeah.
January? You can only count them in January.
Okay. All right. Thank you all for watching. We'll be back with some college football. Rumors are swirling that there might be a live edition of the Big Four podcast. Maybe Saturday or Sunday for some selection show.
Let me just quash those rumors. That is not true. That is not happening.
That is what we will be doing. The selection show special.
Actually, it'll be Alex solo podcast.
Yes, Alex will be hosting the solo podcast. Rumors are Heath might be a guest, but we'll see. So you can look forward to that either Saturday or Sunday. Stay safe.
If it's live, doesn't it have to be a certain day?
Well, we'll be tweeting out when that will be for our 14 Twitter followers.
We'll have to do it after the selection.
Yeah, wouldn't it be wherever the selection thing is?
No, we'll be doing our own selection show, and then the committee will follow us.
Oh, okay. And that's who will actually go to the playoff.
Yeah,
it won't be who the committee selects. It'll be whoever we select.
Just like we did our own bracket, and Robert Morris won the championship. Or no, who won the championship? Vermont won the championship.
Vermont.
Yeah. First game, Robert Morris over Kansas.
I got to get the random number generator thing going again.
Yeah.
See who wins.
Yeah. All right. Stay safe. Thank you all for watching.